What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the best part of your Monday. How we doing there, Josh? How we feeling on this fine Monday night?
It's been cold, man, so it's not been great.
Yo, brick.
Yeah, and I don't like daylight savings, man. It's it's pitch black at 4 o'clock. I'm tired of it. Like it's so annoying. So
I
yeah, it's
agree.
been a rough Monday. Just annoyed by stuff.
Just in the sun department, it's been rough, huh?
The sun, just the weather, man. Just Mother Nature's really not messing with me so far, and I don't like it. How are you, Connie?
Oh, let me tell you something. As you can tell, the surroundings is a little different. I'm at Nan's crib, holding it down. So we're gonna hope that the Wi-Fi keeps up with the kid. It's weird because I'm not in my room; I'm in the dining room, so there's a little bit more of an echo when I speak. So I hope that doesn't get heard. But whatever. And then Josh, I talked about it a little bit. School's really just screwing me over. It's just coming right at me.
That's tough.
Here's the thing, right, Josh? So past two semesters, I've been recommended this podcasting class, correct? I'm like, oh, I do 3 podcasts. I might as well take a podcasting class. It'd be fantastic. The first day to register for classes was yesterday. My registration time isn't until tomorrow at 12:15.
So they didn't even
There's
give you a
two.
chance.
There's 2 spots left.
Oh, that's tough.
After I was basically guaranteed that I was going to get this class, guaranteed, Josh. Not oh maybe, no, guaranteed a spot in this class basically. So your boy, slightly salty.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough.
But you know what, Josh? There's nothing that can fix that better than being here doing the pod. And we're going to jump right into it. And Josh, I'm going to leave it in your hands because I did not see Holloway and Rodriguez. Now, did I hear about it? Absolutely. I even saw the video after the fight of both of them in the light, hugging in the ambulance, which, by the way, I feel like light really makes you realize how nasty the sport of UFC is. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, they kind of look disfigured after the fights no matter what. But when they actually step into the light, that was something. Looked absolutely disgusting. So Josh, how was the fight? Tell us everything.
Yeah, well, you missed out, Connie. It was arguably fight of the year. I think right now Gaethje and Chandler is probably right there, but just one weekend later, I think this fight was as every bit of entertainment as that fight was. It started off not exactly how I expected it to go because no one really knew what to expect out of Yair Rodriguez 2 years off of fighting. So we didn't really know what he was going to look like. And he came in and he destroyed Max Holloway's calf. I mean, he was throwing the heaviest calf kicks, and he paid for it too, though, because like you said, when you saw them after the fight, they put the camera on Yair's foot. That thing was so huge. I mean, like the size of a football. It was broken and shit. I mean, it was bad, but yeah, he won that first round. I gave him the second round as well. He was more active. I think Holloway landed the heavier shots because they were both just unloading and eating like the heaviest right hooks ever, just eating them. And then Max took over in the third and fourth round, had him on the ground, was ground and pound them. But Yair, I mean, he throws everything. Like when you're watching a Yair fight, you're gonna see almost every type of strike there is. He threw a nasty, like I wouldn't even call it a spinning elbow. He was getting beat up on the fence and he was covering up, lowering a bit, and he just threw like an uppercut elbow. I'm surprised Max was still moving after it, but yeah, it was wild. I mean, it was just an amazing fight. I recommend going back and watching it. It was, I mean, both guys gave it their all and they showed respect to each other after the fight. Max obviously wound up winning, but I mean, it's not a bad loss for Yair at all because, I mean, it's Max Holloway. He's arguably the best boxer in the UFC, so it was a tough matchup.
All those clips that keep going viral of Holloway, like literally just standing in the ring and like boxing people, and then the one I can't remember where, but he's like teaching the guy how to cover up. Probably my favorite things of all time.
Yeah, I mean, and when he fought Calvin Kattar, where he threw 700 punches in that fight, UFC record, he was sitting there beating his ass while he was telling Dana White he's the best in the world. Like he's looking outside of the cage.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, I keep
Yeah.
seeing it on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean it's insane, but it's gonna be interesting to see what happens now with Max because he's already lost to Alexander Volkanovski twice for the title. I think the first fight was very close though. I think Max won the first fight, but they gave it to Volkanovski. And Dana White said after the fight that, I mean, Volkanovski's just gonna have to keep dealing with him. Like you may beat him every time, but he's the best in the world, the only one that can really match up with him. So I'm expecting to see that fight again. Yair's gonna definitely be. I don't know if he was ranked before this fight. I'm guessing he was out of the rankings just because he hadn't fought in a while, but he's definitely gonna be back in the top 10 in that division. He'll be fighting for a title shot on his own just because of how good that fight was. But and there were, out of all the fights, only 2 of them, including the Max Holloway fight, went to decision. All the other ones were finishes. It was an amazing card for sure. So, I mean, Forrest Griffin said it too. He said it after the fight. He was like, every other weekend, the UFC gives me the best fight I've ever seen in my life. Like it changes all the time because they've been that good. And I agree with him. I mean, I thought, what was it, a while ago, the Chandler and Oliveira fight was the best one I've ever seen. I thought Chandler and Gaethje was the best fight I've ever seen. And now I think this fight might be too because they just keep getting better and better. But yeah, this fight was insane.
Well, you know what? You're not the only person to tell me that. I might have to go and check it out. I probably will. Nice little everybody likes to post the highlights on somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll go back and check it out. By the way, people, speaking of checking things out, make sure you go over to the Facebook, the YouTube, everything like that, the Twitch, because we can't see your comments on Twitter anymore. And listen, as much as me and Josh love talking to each other, we need some interaction with the people, of course. So make sure you head on over there, give us a subscription or a follow, whatever the hell it is on Facebook, because I'm not 75, so I don't have it. Even though Josh does. I don't know, where that comes from. But it's okay.
What?
It's okay.
What?
Facebook.
What?
Come on.
I have Facebook.
But Josh, we're young. You're not 85.
Well, I got 85-year-old relatives, and that's all they're on.
All right. See, that's a reason to have it. That's a reason to have it. See? My nan, right 20 minutes from me, so I'm chilling. I don't need a Facebook to could talk to her. You know what I mean?
Right,
I feel you. Josh, from there, we will move on though. But once again, people check out the YouTube and everything like that. We'll move on to the NBA. And the question is, Josh, Steph or KD for the MVP right now? Who are you giving it to?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong because I want to give you props. You picked KD for MVP, didn't you? When we did our
you know what, Josh, you have a great memory.
Yeah, I'm giving you props for that because he's my MVP right now. I mean, what he's doing out there is insane. He's averaging about 30 points, which leads the league. He leads the league in field goal percentage, but he's not top 10 in field goal attempts. Like, do you know how good you have to be and efficient you have to be to lead points and makes, but not be even top 10 in attempts? Like he's
Didn't
just
he
making
shoot like 92% in a game earlier this year?
Yeah, he's been shooting lights out. I mean, it's been pretty easy money too. You take that over. I mean, they're disrespecting him, putting that 28.5. It's like, come on, he's dropping.
Come on, easy money sniper.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy, but I even because they played the Thunder, I think yesterday, and at first I was like, we're not gonna let him drop 30. But I was like, it's in OKC. KD's gonna want to go off, and he did. He dropped like 35, I think. But yeah, I mean, Steph's obviously been amazing too. He had 50 this past week. They're the number 1 seed in the West. But I just think what KD's doing is on a different level. And I think the Nets, they're not a low seed. I think they're probably top 5 seed. I haven't looked at that. But I just think what KD's doing is just a little bit better than what Steph's doing. I think if people have Steph as their MVP, I have no problem with that either. He's been amazing. But KD, to me, just – I mean, a stat like that, not being top 10 in attempts and leading the league in makes and points is ridiculous. That's just an insane stat. So he's my MVP 1 month into the season.
Well, I'm attempting to look up their stats right now as I have Steph's up on the screen, but ESPN is, being very difficult to me and not giving me
What's up, man?
Oh, there we go. I found Mr. Slim Reaper. Don't worry, people. I got him. So we'll do the quick comparison here. KD's averaging 29.6. He's averaging about a half a steal, half a block, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. He's shooting 84% from the free throw line. Josh, he's shooting 42% from three.
That's
42%.
insane.
And he's shooting 58% from the field.
That's cool.
So,
Almost 60%, and he's not a big man. Like, that is just wild.
And he's playing 34 minutes a game.
Yeah,
Like, it's not like
he's scary though.
And then you go over to Steph, who of course is having a great season as well, 28.1. So about a point different. He's averaging 1.7 steals, actually 0.2 more of a block than KD. 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 95% from the free throw, 38% from three, and then 44% from the field. So, with that being said, am I mad if you pick either one of them for your MVP? Not really. The Warriors are 11-2 right now. Nets are 10-4. I picked KD from the beginning of the year, like you said. So maybe I might have a little bias. What's going on there, Skura? How we doing, my brother? Tell your friends. See, people, the YouTube. Beautiful interaction right there. Now we get to know how Matt's doing. He asks us what's going on. We ask him. It's just a wonderful friendship. Oh, look at this. I know for a fact that Josh was crying. Tears of joy seeing Cam run for a touchdown and pass one to Anderson. Matt, we're going to get into that. So make sure everybody sticks around because we're getting into it. We will. But back to this real quick. I'm not going to blame anybody for doing it. And you know what the best part about this is, Josh? Do you know who plays tomorrow on TNT?
Who?
It would be the Warriors and the Nets.
Oh yeah, I'm same game parlay. Give me both their overs.
We got a nice 7:30 start in the Barclays Center. The 11-2 Warriors versus the 10-4 Nets. And hey, the Nets just went on I believe like a 4-game win streak on the road. So solid for them. But yeah, I guess I'll go with KD right now. He's averaging more points, and he's just so efficient right now. Like that's a very big thing. Like the fact that you can be that efficient, like you said, not being a big man, shooting 58%. That's center numbers.
Yeah. And he takes contested tough shots. Like they're not created for him often. Like he's creating for himself, taking tough mid-rangers and knocking them.
And here's the other thing, Josh. It's kind of a blast from the past almost because my man Kevin Durant, a big midi guy.
Yeah.
Usually we're getting either a dunk or a three. There's not many minis because, it goes against the analytics. But KD said, you know what? Screw that noise. I'm taking a midi right now. So you know what? It is nice to see. But with that being said, we'll move on to now the NFL, of course. We got to do that because, well, it's what the world wants to see. And we're gonna go to both of our teams. And we're gonna start off with the Pats and the Browns right now. Now, Josh, I'm a little upset because you wrote in the doc here. Cool, who cares? Listen. I even quoted the tweet before the show that I'm going to be nice to you today, but you had to go and do this. I'm a little upset about it.
Well, you didn't tweet that before I made the doc, so how was I supposed to know we were on good terms? I thought you were going to come at Cam all show.
No, listen.
I'm still expecting that, honestly. I think you're baiting me.
I'm not. I don't. It hurts my feelings that you even think I would do that. I might cry on the show right now. Well, I'm just saying. So we'll go with the Patriots first. Obviously, both of our teams did play in very competitive games, but I think for me, this was by far, easily the best game that the Patriots played all year. And I say that because it was against the Browns. I know they were without Chubb, they were without Hunt. But hey, Dearness Johnson went off, what was that, 2 weeks ago? So he was very capable of doing that. And, after the first drive, it kind of looked like it was going to be that way again. I was a little concerned, a little annoyed because, that's typical me, that if things don't go good right away, they're never good enough. So you start that game off, the Browns go 85 yards, score a touchdown. I think they got 6 first downs on 8 plays. They score a touchdown. They move the ball pretty easily. I think it was an 85-yard drive or something like that. And Josh, did you know that the rest of the game they got 64 yards total?
Yeah, they fell off right after that drive.
And the Patriots, it was the complete opposite. Now, Josh, one 90-yard drive, 90-plus yard drive is impressive. Am I correct?
Very
Two, you're saying, wow, we're doing a little something here.
Yeah.
3 in one game.
Okay.
That's something. The Patriots had a 98, 92, and I believe a 95-yard touchdown drive last game. I mean, that's something. That is something. So I'm very happy with that. The defense played well. We got a pick off Baker, Kyle Duggar, who's looking like a solid draft pick. Listen, Bill can't draft a single skill position player. I wouldn't even. Skill positions shouldn't be allowed. Honestly, they should strip him of the GM duties just for skill positions. But defensive players that are playing in northern Idaho of New York, he can draft them because Kyle Duggar went to some school that I've never even heard of. In fact, I don't even remember the school that he went to. I really don't. But he's played pretty well, and this game was without Jamie Collins. They were without Damian Harris, who had the concussion, and Ramondre Stevenson. I believe he had about 100 yards. He had 102, and then he lost a couple of yards. So he had 100 yards. I think he scored a touchdown. It might have even been 2. I'm very tempted to say 2. But I won't go.
I think he
did have 2?
Yeah, because I looked at stats earlier, like 20 carries, 100 yards, and I think 2 touchdowns.
You know what, Matt? I like this energy. I'm a big fan of this energy. In fact, I would like this energy to keep coming. And then the feel-good moment of the NFL season, Josh. Jacoby Myers, baby. First NFL career touchdown. I believe he had the most receptions and most yards of anybody in the NFL history without scoring a touchdown. I believe it was like his 126th catch.
He had one called back earlier this year, too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he has a passing touchdown. The man has a passing touchdown. I believe he has 2, actually. And no receiving touchdowns until the end of the game when the greatest backup quarterback in Patriot history, Brian Hoyer, came into the game and tossed a nice little one to him. After he missed that tackle, the heart started beating, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. They missed the tackle. The Browns player missed the tackle. I was like, oh, my gosh, they're kind of close to the end zone right now. And Jacoby started chugging, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dove across that end zone. Oh, what a moment. But, yeah, I was happy with the performance. Obviously, Mac had 3 touchdowns. Didn't even throw for 200 yards. I think he had like 198. But he had the 3 touchdowns. And we're starting to get a little connection here, which is what the Patriots kind of do. Mac Jones to Hunter Henry is becoming something. I think Henry has like 8 touchdowns on the year so far. Obviously, we're going into week 11. So he's doing pretty well. Jonnu Smith was out in this game, so you didn't get both tight ends. But I'm feeling pretty good. I think that's our 4th straight win, I believe. Yeah, I think it is. So we're looking good, baby. We're coming for the Bills. Now we play them twice at the end of the season, so that's going to determine everything. But here's my thing, right? Even if we don't win the division, which I would like, of course, why wouldn't you? But if the Patriots lost that game, I believe their playoff chances went down to 24% according to FPI. You know what it is after a win, baby? I believe it was 68.
Okay.
And I looked.
I would like
today
1 more percent. I would like 1 more percent, though.
Well, of course. Wouldn't we all? You know what I mean? But I believe after some of the shenanigans that went on yesterday, that is now even up to 72%.
Hey.
So we're feeling pretty good over here. And then for the Browns side of the ball, I almost feel like you got to shut Baker down. Like he gets hurt. Like he's getting hurt like every week now.
He's playing on one arm. He's been playing with one arm for whole season basically.
Yeah, I think he got hurt in like week 2. He's been playing with one arm. I don't know what happened yesterday. It looked like something with his knee or side. He got hurt again. At least shut him down until he's healthy. Or just shut him down I don't know if you want to shut him down for the rest of the year because they have a decision to make as well. And I think it's an easy one if you give him his 5th-year option. Like, listen, I know that Baker might not be, somebody that's going to transcend your football team and this, that, and the third, whatever. But the Browns, just got to relevancy.
Yeah.
Do you really want to mess with it now? Did they forget that whole stretch where, the Browns had, 25 starting quarterbacks in 10 years? Like, do you really want to go back to that? Now, is Baker the savior of your franchise? It might not be. It really might not be. But do you want to go back to what was happening before? And I just think the answer is no. So I think you give him the option. I think they'll play better. I think they play the Dolphins. No. They play a terrible team next week, so they're going to get back on track. They'll be totally fine. They play Detroit, who at least isn't going defeated this year.
Yeah, they didn't lose, so
exactly. Maybe. You know what? Our prayer circle might be working, Josh. Just saying. But what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean, it was just complete Pats domination. I watched the beginning of it. I saw that first drive, and I thought it was pretty ballsy that early to go for it because that touchdown they had was on 4th down, on 4th and goal. I thought that was pretty ballsy against a team like
right after Devin McCourty almost had a one-handed snag of an interception.
I thought he had that. But they wound up getting that touchdown. Then from there on out, it was just domination by the Pats. I mean, the Patriots scored every single drive except for the one right after halftime and the very end of the game where they took
minutes. Yeah, they punted once.
Yeah, I mean, they scored every possession. Browns really didn't have a chance. I mean, even there was just no chance. Even if they were playing good in that first half, just the Patriots were playing out of their mind. I mean, that catch by Kendrick Bourne, Mac put it somewhere he could only get it. They were just dominating. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, I'm sorry for disrespecting you. I think I said last week, I said, I don't even care what your name is. Now you put me on notice.
Yeah.
You're balling, bro. He was playing really well. But I think these two teams, I think they're pretty similar in how their offenses work. Like, they're both, like, you need the run game to work if you're going to have success. Like, the Browns run through Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and then that gets Baker going because it opens things up. The Patriots do the same thing with their three-headed monsters, and that gets things going for Mac. I mean, like you said, he only had 198 yards, putting up that many points. They don't need him to throw for 300 yards to win games. But it was just complete dominance by them. I just can't believe that. I don't know what they do. Is Baker going to play next week? Like, you can't play him this week. Like, you got to give him a break, man. Like, I mean, you got
that's
Detroit.
The thing too. Like, they had Case Keenum.
Yeah,
so it's not like you're giving yourself no opportunity to win the game if you play him.
Yeah.
Like, he's a serviceable backup in the NFL. So, like, you might as well give Baker at least a week to, like, I don't know, like, get enough treatment, just have the week off.
Just stay in bed, man. Just
literally, don't even come to the facility. No, we'll send the trainer to you.
And if there's any week to do it, it's against Detroit. I think that's like the best situation you can have where you play your backups and get your guys some rest for a playoff stretch where you're trying to make it into the playoffs because they're still, I mean, they're like the 9th or 10th seed right now, right? I mean, they're not really that close to it.
Yeah, I think. So, I mean, the whole AFC is a jumbled mess, so you never really know.
I mean, everybody's got 5 wins, like it's crazy.
You know that this is like one of the only times, like this is only like the second time I think in NFL history where at this point in the season, every team in the NFL has 2 losses. At least.
That's crazy. Yeah, shout out to us for doing that. But yeah, I think they should just sit them, like you said. I mean, if it was a backup like someone you just don't trust going out there at all, then I'm like, okay, play Baker, just run the ball a lot. But you got Case Keenum, you're playing the Lions, like just give him a break. You can tell he's just, I mean, he's got that big old brace on his left arm. It's basically immobile, and then now he's hurting other parts of his body, and you got to give him a break, man. Have him there for the playoffs.
CJ, you know what we're doing, bro. Talk about a little bit of our boys. You feel me? CJ, I can't wait to talk about some Pats football with you tomorrow over there on the hard count. But you know what? If that's all you got on the Browns Pats, Josh, I'm going to let you have your flowers here. You know what? Am I a Cam guy? No. But you know what? I'm having a good time in Week 10. We're on a 4-game streak. We're breathing right down the Bills' neck. We're going for the kill. We're out here hunting Buffalo. So you know what, Josh? Have your flowers. You beat the Cards. A little banged up, but hey, you can only beat the team that's put in front of you. So, and guess what, Josh? Don't stop now. You're in that last wild card spot. You're only one game back to the Bucks.
If the season ended today, we're in, man. Like you're
only one game back to the Bucks,
playing?
baby.
Guess who we're playing? Team we just beat. We just beat them. we just beat them. So it's not like it's a crazy thing. But I want to start off with last week. If you tune into the show often, I
Wow.
never picked against the Panthers once.
Not one time in show history.
For what is it? So that would have been 25 straight games. I picked the Panthers, and our record is awful there. But a sacrifice had to be made. We had lost 3 straight. Someone needed to step up and do something. And I stepped up and I became Thanos. You know, what did it cost? Everything, man. I lost a streak. I can never say I've never not picked the Panthers. I can't say that anymore. But what followed is Cam came back, man. When Cam signed with the Patriots, I was running around the house screaming how happy I was. Imagine how crazy I was going when he came back, man. It was amazing to have him back. Exactly, man. I had to.
Now, Josh, I need full transparency here. I need
Okay.
full transparency. Don't lie to me. Are you picking the Panthers to win this game if you knew Kyler and Hopkins weren't playing?
I mean, I picked them. I picked the Cardinals. I picked the Cardinals.
No.
Oh,
But
you mean if I knew they weren't playing?
Because
would pick the
I think listen, I could be wrong, but I could have swore that leading up to this game that
they were on track to play.
Kyler and Hopkins playing was going to be a thing.
Yeah, they were on track to play. I think it just came out the morning of that they weren't going to be playing. Yes.
Okay.
Time machine. We can't go back and see. Yeah, I would have picked the Cardinals because I had to make the sacrifice. But on that whole injury thing, we were playing our backup too. And I'm sorry, do Kyler and D-Hop, do they play linebacker and corner? Were they going to tackle Cam? Were they going to stop Robbie Anderson? Hell no, bro. And they were not going to keep up on that defense. With the energy after Cam scored, bro, it was game over. After that first touchdown, it was game over. Cam comes in, first touch on the goal line, touchdown. Comes in next possession on the goal line, touchdown. I mean, you couldn't write it better than that. I mean, it was insane. The energy with the team was just wild. But the one thing I really didn't like is when we were up huge late in the game, why are we still giving Christian McCaffrey the ball?
Because I needed it in fantasy. That's the sole reason.
We just saw him go to the tent and come out, and you're like, yeah, get back on the field. Do you want to ruin what's going on here? We just had this amazing game against the best team in the conference, and you would have hurt our running back. When Chuba was playing great, he had a touchdown. He was playing really well. So I just hated how we kept giving him the ball, but you could just tell the difference between having Sam Darnold out there. And, I mean, even when we were undefeated to start the year, it did not feel like this win feels. Obviously, that's because of Cam mostly, but it's crazy just how you could tell that defense. I mean, those possessions in the first quarter, they gave them no yards. They allowed nothing to happen. They didn't get a first down until their 4th drive. So we were just shutting them out. And I hate how it's week 10 in the regular season, and you're going to give me this, if Kyler played, they would have won bullshit, bro. Come on, it's week 10 in the regular season. Why are we doing this? A win's a win. I mean, everyone wanted to hand TJ Watt the defensive player of the year because he strip sacked Geno Smith. Why are we complaining about injuries now? It is what it is. But I mean, from here on out, I know that Darnold's probably done for this season with his shoulder injury. Cam's gonna probably be starting next week against Ron Rivera, which should be very, very fun to see.
Did you hear what Ron Rivera said?
No, what did he say?
He was asked if he ever had a defensive playbook for Cam, just in case the time ever came he had to face him, and he said yes.
I don't doubt it, man. I'm sure he's drawing up plays already right now, but I think Cam's probably going to start the rest of the season, basically trying out for the 2022 starting job, which I like. And you know what I really like? At first, when I saw this number, I hated it. Since we cut Cam Newton, we have spent $60 million on quarterbacks. 60. We paid Teddy 31. We're paying Sam 23, and we're paying Cam 6, which it could be a possible 10. When I first saw that, I was like, we are wasting money. But then I'm like, well, we could just be riding with no quarterbacks, not even trying to get one. So I'm like, at least, Tepper's I don't care what it costs. Just get me a quarterback. And I hope it can be Cam, I think it'd be great if he came back and he becomes a starting quarterback for the next few years. I think that'd be awesome. he didn't. Obviously the touchdowns were great, but he did look a little bit. I mean, he only threw 4 passes. I mean, kind of. He was 3 for 4 though. I know you're a big completion percentage guy. So 3 for 4, that's 75%. That's pretty good. But the one he did miss, it was an ugly ball. He just threw it behind DJ a little bit on a slant. But I mean, the offense looked great. I mean, Joe Brady probably had to. I mean, he tweeted out in Cam.
I saw that, the 1-0.
1-0. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think the whole team is ready to move. And like you said, I mean, we're the 7th seed right now. So as long as we can keep winning, keep playing well, but we haven't even played the Bucs once yet. So I'm not going to get my hopes up because I'm going to pick us, but I'm going to chalk it up as 2 L's already. So we're still got a lot of work to do, especially because, I mean, the whole NFC is kind of all in the same kind of area in terms of making the playoffs, except for those bottom teams. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we lose this game if Kyler and D-Hop play, and I'm so excited Cam's back. I always did say it. I lost my voice so that I couldn't talk. It was
okay.
It was tough. I was yelling, bro. I was yelling.
There's certain people that kind of just belong in certain places, and Cam's one of those guys. Like. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's because I didn't see like the whole Cam Panther relationship ending. Like I saw it coming with Brady. So like I was like when people asked me in the offseason, I wasn't with Unwrapped yet. Wait, was I? I might have been. I think I was. I don't think we were doing a show though. I don't know if we were doing a show.
No.
But like that whole offseason, I kept saying that Brady wasn't coming back. Like when people asked me, I wanted him to. There was a big difference. I wanted him back. I didn't think that it was his fault that year, anything of that nature. But I kind of knew he wasn't going to come back because the relationship was so bad. So I was already kind of prepared to see him somewhere else. But like Cam just doesn't belong anywhere else.
No.
Like his whole persona, his play, it just fits with the Panthers. Like that's where he is supposed to play. It was kind of like when Favre went to the Vikings. Like that didn't make any sense. Like it didn't look right. It didn't feel right. It didn't make sense. And this does. Like Cam coming back is just makes the most sense to me. Like I said, I'm going to let Josh and all Panthers fans have their moments. So I'm not even going to say nothing bad. I do agree with you though. The fact that McCaffrey was getting all those touches. Like the previous week, I think he played like 48% of the snaps or something. Had like
14 carries.
He had like 22 touches in the game.
Yeah,
he had like 26 at halftime.
Yeah, he had 26 carries this game. It did not make sense.
And I think he also caught 10 passes, so that's 36 touches right there. That doesn't include the times he's out on the field blocking. That doesn't include all the other stuff that goes into just being on the field, making it look like you have to do something, the play actions where you're still probably getting hit. So I didn't love it out of them. I mean, do I love it for me? Oh, absolutely. Because like I said, I got CMC on the fantasy squad. So anytime he touches the ball, your boy's happy. I need, by the way, Darrell Henderson. I need you to put up 8 points tonight, brother. Actually, 9. I need 9 because I think 8 I would still lose. I need 9 points, bro. Come on. If you can't get me 9 points, I'm.
He's in my parlay tonight too, so I need him to do something.
What do you have? You have his total?
I have over, I think, 49.5 yards and anytime touchdown.
Josh, you know what else that reminds me of, by the way? That people should go over to Underdog Fantasy, by the way, that you can see on the bottom of the ticker. Underdog Fantasy, go download the app where you can do a nice little pick, and you can even do a draft, which I've won some solid money. I believe my first draft I won $50 in. And then after that, I never went back and did another draft. And ever since then, I haven't seen $1 because, well, I'm kind of an idiot. But go to Underdog Fantasy. Use code Gen Z, people. Because if you use code Gen Z, then you double your first deposit up to $100. So, I mean, listen, you put 50 in. No, you don't just get 50. You get another 50. 50 plus 50 is 100. Listen, I'm not even the smartest guy, and I know that. Just saying. They will double your first deposit up to $100. So you put in $100, you get another 100 people. I don't know. Why don't you like free money?
Yeah, it's free.
And for everybody watching out there, why don't you like money? Because if you don't go and sign up with the code, I assume that you don't like money. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Everybody wants some bread. You know, a little maybe a little sourdough, depending on maybe a little rye or a little raisin bread.
Okay.
You know,
See.
anytime. I mean, I'm at my Nan's house right now. Maybe a nice little slice of Italian.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Everybody
Okay.
wants their bread. I'm just saying. So make sure you go over there, check out Underdog Fantasy, use code Gen Z, and get yourself some bread. Fresh bakery bread, too. That's that stuff that comes warm right out of the oven. Put a little butter on it. Scrumptious. I'm just saying. It'll be a wonderful time. Quick math, Connie. Listen, you know the vibes.
2 plus 2.
That's 4. I'm just saying. Look at that. See?
Look at
I've
that.
never been. It's just unbelievable what I can do when I put my mind to it, which just doesn't happen a lot. But anyway, yeah, those carries for McCaffrey weren't, you know, the smartest thing I've ever seen. And I think, I mean, Rule already came out and said he's going to give most of the first team reps to Cam, so he's going to end up starting. And then I think it's very interesting to see what happens when
But
Sam
shout
is
out to
healthy.
PJ. PJ played really well too.
See,
He
that
played a good game.
sucks.
Mhm.
Like that
It was his
sucks.
coming out party, and Cam. I mean, I'm glad Cam came and shined the way he did, but PJ got overlooked on his nice performance too.
Yeah, because I mean, like you said, Cam didn't play that much. Like
3-4
obviously the big story was, you know, the 2 touchdowns, but PJ played very good in that game. He's just not going to get any of his flowers because, you know, Cam's screaming I'm back on the
Yeah, that's
on the
worth
sideline.
worth all the what if they fine him for. It's worth the taunting penalty that had to happen.
You know, I even heard that you're willing to pay it.
I did not. You broke up. What'd you say?
Oh no, I think everybody heard me. Yeah, you know, Josh, a big money Josh guy over here, willing to pay the fine up to 15 grand.
We can do it as a community. I'll start a GoFundMe, and you know, we'll do it as a community. I'll contribute, you know, like $2. I'll do my part, and then
Okay.
we'll build it from there.
You know, Josh, not the worst thing ever. But yeah, we will move on from there. Look at us, both of our teams doing well. So inspirational. Who would have thought?
It's been. I mean,
like that.
Because we've lost 3 straight. I don't think this has happened where we both had such dominant performances and been able to be happy about the game.
Oh no, that both like absolutely dominant. Like there was no chance of the other team winning. No, that's never happened.
No, never happened.
Like usually there's something to be annoyed with, but not. I mean, listen, like I said, Patriots had 3 drives and 90+ yards. They gave up barely anything to the Browns. They shut them down after that first drive. You got Cam coming back, running for one, throwing for one. CMC's out here looking fantastic as per usual. Listen, what's there to be mad about? What is there to be mad about? So we'll move on to another game, and that will be the Vikings and the Chargers. Now, I watched some of this game. I should have probably watched more of it because I don't know why. I kept turning back to the Packers-Seahawks game, which was an absolute snooze fest. Like, Matt, listen. Yeah, Packers winning as well. We all living right now. Matt, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me right now. If you're not a Packer fan or a Seahawks fan, there was no reason to watch that game. It was a terrible game. Awful.
And it was set up to be so good. Russ back.
Oh my
Rodgers
gosh.
back,
Russ is coming back from an injury. You know, Rodgers got all this controversy around him. How was he going to play? And, well, it was awful.
Snowed.
Terrible.
It snowed, too. That's when you get the best games.
It was just a bad. I mean, Russ out here throwing 2 interceptions. The one where he threw it deep, I think he's just taking a shot. You sometimes get interceptions like that. I didn't like it because it's still an interception, but I mean, I won't kill him for it. But that one in the end zone where he was trying to throw to DK, literally have no idea what the point of that was. Not a clue. I could not tell you the point of him throwing that football. So I don't know. But back to this game. You know, the Vikings have been losing close games this year. They finally win a close one. You know, the Chargers sort of had a chance at the end if they could have gotten that 4th down stop. I believe they would have had, you know, probably like a minute and a half with the ball to try and go down and score. They obviously couldn't do it. Justin Herbert had another poor performance. So he's, you know, settled down a little bit after his very, very hot start to the beginning of the season. But, I mean, I guess it happens. He is still a second-year quarterback. Like, I know that we all kind of wanted to anoint him, but, I mean, me included. So let me not say it like I wasn't one of them. But, I mean, he threw 20 of 34, 58.8 completion percentage, 195 yards. a touchdown and interception, and a 72.5 rating. So definitely not the game that, you wanted to see, especially, after that win over there in Philly where he was, 32 or 38, 356, 2 touchdowns, no picks. It's kind of a different game there. Josh, it's only his second worst performance of the year, though, because he played the Patriots. So just saying. But yeah, 58.8, 1 touchdown interception. He got sacked twice. It's definitely not a crazy performance on him. Cook, I couldn't think of his first name for a second. Cook played good in this game for the Vikings. Obviously, Justin Jefferson went off in this game, to say the least. Yeah, Justin Jefferson's a grown man, by the way. Grown man. So
does that sound in some crazy way?
It disgusts me, in fact. Isn't Zion younger than us, actually?
Yeah, LaMelo's younger than us. Like the kids, the rookies in the NBA
See,
right now.
that was always the moment I thought that I was old. And I'm still not. I'm 21, so I'm not old at all. But I always looked at people in professional leagues, and I was like, "Oh, look, they're still older than me, so it's fine."
Yeah,
I can't compare myself to them. I'm
right.
But now it's this 18-year-old just dropped 45 in the NBA, and I'm like, really, bro? I just finished my 3rd bag of Cheetos. What am I supposed to be doing with my life? But we're getting there, Josh. Coming soon. Generational Sports for podcast of the year. Just saying, why not? What did you think about this game, Josh? Any big thoughts? You think that one team is bound for the playoffs, one isn't? What's the whole story now?
Yeah, this game really annoyed me because, if you had to guess, who's the worst run defense in the league, you'd say the Chargers because they just did an awful lot. And so, what did the Vikings do? They ran Dalvin Cook. Did you know the Vikings have the 3rd worst run defense in the league?
No,
right behind the Houston Texans. They gave the ball to Austin Eckler 11 times. That's it. They gave it to him 11 times. If Justin Herbert is struggling, get the ball to your running back, who is matched up against the 3rd worst run defense in the league. And they didn't do that. They would hand it to him on first down, get 6 yards, and then they wouldn't hand it off to him the rest of the drive. It didn't make too much sense to me. And this is a game actually because I bet on this game, so this is why it annoyed me so much. I had Dalvin and Austin Eckler over 100 yards each. And, Dalvin, I don't even think Dalvin hit. I think he had 90 something.
I think I took Dalvin's total over, so it hit for me. Over there on Underdog Fantasy, by the way, too. Just saying.
But I think the Chargers had their chance. I mean, these are two teams. Last year, the Chargers couldn't win close games. This year, the Vikings can't win close games. And funny enough, the two of them had a close game against each other. But late in that fourth quarter,
in the twilight zone.
Yeah, late in that fourth quarter, just before the 2-minute warning, the Chargers were in a perfect spot. It was 3rd and 20. They just used their final timeout, and you just stop them here, you get a chance to tie it and go to overtime. And I don't know how you give up a pass to Adam Thielen. You let anyone catch the ball besides Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. You let him throw, you force him to throw it to anybody else, and he gets 18 yards. Then they go for it on 4th and get it, and it ends the game. But it was an ugly game for the Chargers right from the start. I mean, that interception by Herbert too was very ugly. And then, the Vikings, they controlled the clock very well too. They were on the ball a lot. Tyler Conklin, shout out to him too, had 2 touchdowns. But the Chargers just kind of beat themselves for most of this game. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. And I don't think either of these guys make the playoffs. I really don't.
All right, Josh, now be here with me. We got the Chargers at the 7th seed, so they are currently the last playoff team in. And we have the Vikings number 8, breathing right down the neck of your Carolina Panthers. The Vikings are 4-5. Chargers are 5-4. The teams behind the Chargers are the Raiders, the Bengals, the Colts, Browns, and the Broncos, who are all 5-5.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the Raiders and Bengals are 5-4, but Colts, Browns 5-5, Chargers 5-4. So, and then obviously for the Vikings, Panthers are 5-5, they're 4-5, and then Atlanta is 4-5, who are behind them. Philly's 4-6 behind them, and then San Francisco's 3-5 behind them as well. So if you had to pick one, though, which one do you give the better chance to?
I'd probably give the better chance to the Vikings. I, but even that is just slightly like I'd give the better chance to them, but I'd still like if I had to bet my life on it, I would not bet that the Vikings make the playoffs. I just think because you said that behind them it's Atlanta and then who else? Who was right behind Atlanta?
Right behind Atlanta is the Eagles at 4-6.
Yeah. See, I think just with their matchups and their games, I think they're going to have a better chance to win more games because I have the Vikings played the Packers yet? They probably haven't played them twice. So
Let's see here. I can tell you right now. Let's go quick. Actually, they play the Vikings. I believe that would be
this
next
week,
week,
right?
right? Yeah,
This
this
week they play
week.
them this week.
They play them this week, and then they play them again the second to last week of the season.
Yeah, so I think that's two matchups that I am going to go ahead and chalk those up as losses for them as
They
well.
also play the Rams, which is probably a loss.
Yeah. So I don't see them being able to rack up enough wins because Atlanta is somehow winning like games. Like they're not they play terrible this week, but there's been some weeks where they've looked really nice. Uh, but I think
Because
Philly.
realistically, like if you look at the NFC, right, it's coming down to the 6 and 7 spots because
Mhm,
uh, obviously you have the 4 division winners, and then the 5th spot is the Rams, and they're 7-2.
yeah,
So they're already 2 games ahead of whatever team is in 6th place and 7th place.
and then I
And
think we have.
I
a
think
better
the Saints
team.
are. I think the Saints are a lock at 6. I think
Yeah,
they're making it.
yeah. Trevor Simeon looked good. He did not look
Well,
bad. He
and it's not
almost
even
won
that.
that
Their
game.
defense is good.
Insanely good. No one can
Like
run
their
on them.
defense is
No one.
very good.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Saints definitely will stay at 6, and then if it's between the Panthers, Philly, and Minnesota, basically, I'm definitely thinking the Panthers will make it over over Minnesota. I'm not biased either. Not biased.
No, um, I don't know, man. It's tough because like I want to go with the Chargers because I think that they're the more talented team
But
than
I
the
just think it's too
Vikings.
early for them. I don't think they're there yet.
Well, because like all right, so they play the Steelers next week on I believe that's Sunday Night Football. I would probably pick them to win, especially because it's at home. They have a home game there. Um, then they play at the Broncos. I just don't think the Broncos are very good.
They're good one week, and then the next week
Yeah.
they're the worst team.
So I would give them another win. Then they play the Bengals at Cincinnati. I could see. I mean, I could see them
Yeah.
winning that game. I wouldn't think it would
Very
just be
possible.
crazy for them to win. Then they play the Giants at home. I give them a win. They play the Chiefs at home. And after, we're going to get into the Chiefs, that game's more of a toss up now. I mean, it is at home, so they get that. Then they play at the Texans. That's a win. Then they play the Broncos at home. That's a win. And then they play the Raiders in Las Vegas. So, I mean, you look at the schedule, I could see probably what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guaranteed wins out of
But
the
then
remaining.
you look at Cincinnati, and just looking at their divisional games, a beat up Browns team. I'm taking Cincinnati. I'm taking them over the Steelers too. I just think I think it's possible. Like I don't know. I don't really want them to make the playoffs either. Like because they're gonna get knocked out first round because they're gonna have to play the Bills probably. Yeah. No, it'd be the Bills, right? They're the ones Titans maybe.
No, yeah, the Titans are the 1 seed right now.
Yeah. So I mean, if they play the Titans. Well, actually, now that I think about it, that could be that could possibly be with the Chargers.
The NFL's all screwed up, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what the
yeah.
hell's happening this year. I have no idea who to pick.
One week
I
they
really
look
don't.
like one week they look like they have everything together offensively. Like they are unstoppable. Justin Herbert looks like the best quarterback in the world. Eckler's catching a touchdown, running for one. And then the next week they look like they were 2 years ago, just bad. So I don't know. I hate it. I hate it. The league is so weird right now.
But let's go on. We'll go to our Week 10 topics right now. And we'll start off with the Bucks. They come off a bye, and last season when they came off the bye, that's when they really turned everything around. That's kind of when Arians and Brady, came together and were like, listen. Brady said, I like throwing, more of my stuff and then going for deep shots. And Arians kind of understood that, and they went more towards, a Brady labeled offense than what Arians was trying earlier in the year, and they took off from their bye, and obviously they went on to win the Super Bowl, so they have nothing to play near. And right now they come off the bye and they lose to Washington, and I think they would have had a chance in this game, but that last drive by Washington is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. A 19-play, 10-minute drive to end the game. Like, you cannot tell me that anybody on the Bucs sideline thought that after they scored that touchdown to make it 20?
It was like 20.
Was it 20-17?
22. No.
I think they were down by a field goal. No, they were down by 4. No, they were down by 4 because they had missed the extra point. And I remember them saying that they would have to go the length of the field and score a touchdown, not just kick the field goal. So they were down by 4, whatever, after their touchdown to Mike Evans. There's 10 minutes left in the game. There's no way that you think you're not getting the ball back.
Yeah.
And Taylor Heineke said, no thanks. We'll take it. And Heineke in both games against the Bucs has like a 65% completion percentage, and he plays out of his mind. And am I concerned about the Bucs? Not exactly. Is it weird that they're losing to some of these teams? Like, who they lose to before the bye? Oh, the Saints. They got blown out, but Brady doesn't play very well against the Saints. But this is a team that you should have beat. And it was just weird. I'm still waiting though, because they just don't have anybody in their secondary. They still have all 3 of their top corners out on injury, and Richard Sherman warming up for the game hurt his calf. So now you didn't have Sherman, who was kind of your insurance policy after everybody went out, and now he's been hurt. Basically since you signed him. I think he played 1 full game.
I don't even think it was a full. I think that's the game he got hurt. Was his debut. I think he got hurt in that first quarter.
Interesting development there. So I'm not really worried about the Bucs, but it is definitely weird that they struggle coming out of a bye, because usually good teams out of a bye, that's when you can bet your entire life savings on them, because you just had 2 weeks to prepare for one team. The other team only had a week to prepare for you, and they were just better. I think they were a double-digit favorite. I guess if you're a double-digit favorite in the NFL now, it's just bad luck, because the NFL is weird and then nobody's allowed to cover anything. So I'm not, concerned about them to say, that, but it's definitely weird that they struggled so much.
Yeah, it was very shocking, and I had no doubt that they were going to come back. I think they went down 10 early, or maybe it was 14. I couldn't remember. I bet on them right away because it was plus money. I was like, yeah, Bucs are going to come back and win this. Like, it's what Brady does. But I mean, they were on their way too. They were getting it done. But like you said, that 10-minute drive. I mean, you can't ask for anything better as a team like Washington in that situation, because you don't want to give Brady the ball back. No one ever does, and they handled it really well. They milked the clock down to the very last second as much as they could, and it wound up working in their favor. And it was just also a very unlucky game for the Bucs too. I mean, that first pick was just it set them up in a really bad spot to start the game, and then that second one even too. And there was almost a third one that happened, just freak stuff. I mean, it comes off
crazy. I thought it was one. I really did.
So did I. I thought he got under it, but I mean, they're lucky he didn't. But it was just a tough game for them. Sometimes this happens, like the best teams just have that one team that's like, why can't we beat these guys? Like we beat teams way better than these guys all the time, and they have a problem with it. They almost lost to them last year in the playoffs, and then they lose to them right now. I'd still, if they were to play this week, I'd bet on the Bucs still, just because
Oh yeah,
yeah. But it's just, I don't know. It's a weird game for them. I guess Ron Rivera and Taylor Heineke are just the Bucs' worst nightmare, man. They just can't handle it.
It's like, it's like the Saints, and then right there, Washington football team for Tom. Apparently, because the NFL makes a lot of sense. Speaking of things that don't really make sense, the Lions and Steelers game, it doesn't make sense to me why anybody watched it. I watched a little bit of overtime because, I wanted to see if the Lions could pull it out. That I believe it's the Steelers or one of the teams, but the stat is like that the Steelers are like the first team to turn the ball over twice in overtime and not lose. They're like the second team in NFL history to do that. Or like the last time it's been done was in like the 70s or something. So the fact that they didn't lose the game, first of all, astonishing. Second of all, bro, Jared Goff is not good.
But Dan Campbell said, I'm taking over the play calling, and you're not doing anything. Like, we're going to run the ball, and you're going to check it down.
33 runs for DeAndre Swift. 33.
Yeah, that was great.
Like, that's not no small number or nothing. 33 runs. I mean, Jesus.
That's Adrian Peterson type of workload right there.
That's King Henry. Yeah. But, I mean, just an ugly game. I mean, the weather wasn't the best, obviously. The Steelers and Detroit missed kicks, I believe, that could have won them the game. I'm not sure about the Steelers, but I know that the Lions just had a miserable attempt at field goal.
What happened? Like, did he just, like, die on the kick? Like, right when he was about to kick the ball, he just shut down? Like, that thing went under the goalpost, and it was only, like, a 46-yarder.
I mean, I guess for some reason that Heinz Field is, like, a terrible place for field goals for kickers. I don't know why. I think like the longest field goal there is only like 55 yards, which we saw Justin Tucker, not Tuck. Kick like what was that, like 66 this year?
Yeah, for the win against Detroit.
Of course it was. But yeah, I mean, I think here's kind of a question for you, and I'm gonna let you answer this question. I gotta go and run and grab my charger because my Mac's a little low here on battery, but. Does this kind of prove almost how good Sean McVay was with Goff and the fact that they even got to Super Bowl? Because listen, don't get me wrong, he had much better weapons with the Rams and obviously a better coach that we all think. Listen, we like Dan Campbell, but he's not Sean McVay. Sean McVay is the next coming of Jesus. Just ask anybody who's ever watched the NFL, apparently. But do you think this kind of almost builds on how good he is, considering he got to Super Bowl with Jared Goff? And as you answer that question, don't worry, people. Your boy will be right back. He's got to grab the charger, So, Josh, take a nice long answer or until I get back,
Yeah, I think it definitely obviously shows that McVay. I think everybody knew that McVay was the reason Jared Goff had that. I think he only had that one good year. But Jared Goff didn't look terrible to start the season, and now he's kind of showing his true colors and what he really is, which is he's got to be in a situation where it's a run-dominant team, and that's what they did this game. And that's what kind of almost led them to success. But, yeah, I think McVay is for sure the reason about Goff. I mean, being the number one overall pick, I think it was just because they didn't want Wentz. Like, they didn't trust him there. But I think it's obvious now that McVay is the reason they were able to get to a Super Bowl. They were able to have winning seasons. But oddly enough, I saw a stat yesterday about Jared Goff. Yesterday when Pat Mahomes went for over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, only a couple of the quarterbacks have done that since then. I think it was Tom Brady, I think it was Aaron Rodgers, and it was Jared Goff. And obviously that's that game against the Chiefs where it was just, I think the final score was like 54-51. So yeah,
that was a hell of a Monday night.
Yeah, that game was kind of the only thing that Jared Goff really has to brag about, because outside of that, he's been more of just a product of what Sean McVay did for him. And now he's kind of in a situation where he doesn't have a mastermind for the coach, and he's kind of got to do more things on his own. I mean, Dan Campbell said it earlier in the year that he needs to step up, and he really does. The team's not terrible. They've had a lot of close games. I think they're
5-4 against the spread.
Yeah, I mean they're playing decent football. It's just they can't get it together late game because Jared Goff can't make the big time throws, and he kind of struggles under pressure. So yeah, I think it definitely by now it shows that it kind of makes McVay look even better that he was able to do that with someone like Goff, even though they had talked early that year, but still you need a quarterback to get all the way to the Super Bowl like that.
Yeah, just an ugly game, 16-16. By the way, I hate that games in the NFL can end by a tie. Hate it.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude.
And he
didn't even know.
They made it a 10-minute one-time period because they're worried about injuries. Yeah, you added a 17th game, by the way.
Yeah. Don't worry about injuries 4 more quarters.
And Thursday night games, which every NFL player ever in the history of the world has hated.
Najee Harris said that he didn't even know there could be ties.
Yeah, apparently Donovan McNabb said the same thing.
I bet.
I just play the NFL and don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Najee as a rookie, like this is his first overtime game. But did you never watch like a game that's
That's
been
what I'm
going
saying.
on so.
Didn't Dan Campbell say he didn't know either? Or
Yeah,
like, or he said that like he had never played in one or something like that, and like kind of forgot that you could. I don't know. But like, how do you not know that a game can end in a tie? Like, I feel like there's usually at least one tie every year. Like, you've never looked at the standings in the NFL once.
right. Yeah, and saw that one and be like, what's that about? Like,
Put me in the NFL. Do it. Chiefs dominate, third win in a row, and this looked like the Chiefs. Like, this was the Chiefs that we're all kind of used to. I was praying that the Raiders won just because I like the downfall of the Chiefs. But Josh, I kind of titled this episode almost because of them. I also gave it for Cam as well. Are they back?
I think they're back. I do think they're back. Just off of that one game, I'm going to say they're back because they looked so good last night against. I mean, the Raiders' defense isn't the best in the league, but they're not bad either. They've been able to keep them in games a few times this year, but they just did everything they wanted against that defense. Tyreek Hill did what he always does, and Mahomes did the magical plays that he always makes. And he didn't even really have to make that many. I mean, they took a big lead. It was like, I think it was third quarter, because I think it was close. Was it close heading into half? Or were they up
Yeah,
big?
I think that they might have been down like 10, maybe.
Yeah,
But I mean, it wasn't like I don't think it was like a bad 10, if that makes sense.
No.
It was like an understandable 10 points.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
can check for you right now.
Because I'm pretty sure it was closer towards half, but I don't know. My memory sucks. So. But yeah, I think
it was 17-7 at half.
Yeah, see, that's still a close game in my mind, but yeah, they're back, man. They're back, and I think their playoff hopes are very much alive because now they're first in the division.
Actually, looking up, 17-7 at half, and then started the third quarter. It was 17-14 because the Raiders went down and scored a 37-yard touchdown.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a close game, and then they just took over in the third and fourth quarter, but. Their schedule isn't that tough. Their next game is going to be very tough. Dallas. They got Dallas this week. So that's not only going to be a great game, but it's going to be a real test if they're really back. But then they have Denver. They have Las Vegas again. They have Pittsburgh. They have Cincinnati. And then Denver again. I'm probably taking the Chiefs in all those games. Like I don't really see them losing another game unless it's against the Raiders in a tiny little bit of a revenge game, then that could happen. But Dallas is really their only true test coming up, and they're in first place in the division. So I think they're back, and I do think the playoff hopes are alive.
See, this is why the NFL is weird. Because now I think I take them in a majority of those games. But literally, we talked about this like 3 weeks ago. I picked against them in a lot of those games.
I said they won't reach the playoffs.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was very possible. They caught a break with Rodgers. Getting COVID in that whole situation because I think they would have lost that game. The Packers defense played well and Jordan Love just couldn't do anything. The Cowboy game, like you said, that's kind of up in the air, but we were all riding high against the Bengals after they beat the Ravens, and then they got destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
So before I had them, that being a toss-up, now I think that the Chiefs are going to win that game. The Steelers' defense is still good, but I still think that they can win that game. The Raiders were playing great at that point, so I thought that they would at least split these, but I thought a split would come by the Raiders winning at home and then the Chiefs winning at home. So now the Chiefs obviously have a very real possibility of sweeping that because their next game's at home. And then the Charger game, that's when they were playing very well too. So I could have saw a sweep happening because the Charger game is in LA.
Yeah.
So it's weird, but it kind of seems like the Chiefs are back. I want to see it, for another week, obviously. When they play Dallas, whose defense has been playing pretty well this year. Micah Parsons is going to win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Trayvon Diggs has like 8 interceptions, or I believe something like that, 8 or 9. So they've been playing pretty well. But I got to see for one more week, but I'm pretty confident that they're back. And I love what everybody's saying. Like I watched Cowherd today with Trent Dilfer saying it, and then listening to some other things. Steve Young said it. Andy Reid got Patrick Mahomes back to playing boring football. Like not, easy and things like, but boring as in the fact of, bro, there's a check down for a reason. Just take the check down.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what he refused to do. I mean, they were showing tape of the game last week where Kelsey's wide open, 10 yards down the field, but Mahomes throws a 45-yard pass to Pringle
Exactly.
because that's what they do. And Andy Reid kind of just said in this game, no, listen, they've been playing the same coverage the entire year. We've tried to do it your way the entire year. Let's be boring. Let's take the check down now. And it worked for them. It really did. And if that is what's going to bring the Chiefs back, that's what you have to do. So I'm intrigued to see where they go from here. But that offense definitely looked a lot more like the past, 3 years that we're used to, rather than what we've seen so far this year. But we go on from there to Josh, a topic that has recently gotten much closer than it seemed, because once again the NFL doesn't really make sense. The MVP. Do you have a favorite, or are these last 7 games going to determine it?
I don't have a favorite. I think it's a two-man race right now between Josh Allen and Tom Brady. But like these next 2 weeks, Kyler Murray could go off and he'll be right up there with them. Like there's no clear favorite really for me who's going to win the MVP, because a lot of guys are playing at a really high level. Uh, I don't know. I looked at the odds earlier today, and Josh Allen is currently the favorite, but it's like crazy. The odds are crazy. Like he's not a heavy favorite, because normally when you see it at this point in the season, you're not really going to make a a lot of money if you bet on that guy when
it's usually like a plus 150.
Yeah, like right now I think he's like plus 400 to win MVP, and it's like he's like that's an insane number for an MVP heading into week 11. So I think right now I'd go between Josh Allen and Tom Brady, but like I said, a couple guys could go off this week. Dak could continue having these monster games and keep winning, and he could win it all. It's crazy.
See, I think I'm right there with you that it's between Brady and Allen. I think I'm still giving it to Brady because I believe he still leads the league in passing yards and touchdowns. I'm not
I think
sure.
Mahomes passed him last night. I think Mahomes passed him.
Okay. Well, he's still up there. And obviously
fun.
the Bucs are having a good season. The Bills are having a good season too. But I have eliminated some people. I actually have. I thought this was Kyler's award to lose for a little bit. Josh, you okay? Sounds like there's a nuke in your house.
Our heater, bro, the fan on it is so old, and so when the heater dies down, it's like it sounds
I'm just
crazy.
making sure that my man's is safe. You know what I mean?
It's scary. Scary at
You
night,
never know
bro.
these days. You never know. I've eliminated Kyler. I have. He's missed these 2 games due to injury. I think you can't miss 2 games while other MVP candidates are playing well and have played every game. So I've eliminated him. I've eliminated Dak as well because of the reason that he missed games. And then Justin Herbert kind of fell out of it for me. I don't think Mahomes can win it. So I have it. People mention Lamar. Like, don't get me wrong. I know what Lamar is doing is very impressive. But like, if you look at his numbers, like low key, they are not MVP level numbers. Like he's having a good season because he literally has to. But let's see. I look at his numbers right here for this regular season. He has 14 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 2,447 yards. He's completing 64% of his passes, though, which is fantastic for him. Obviously, this does not go into the rushing, if I could see it. Let's see.
I think the rushing is the only thing really keeping them in the conversation.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why ESPN doesn't show rushing. It literally just shows his passing. Like, how does that make any sense? But whatever. I guess you could still put him there because, like you said, the rushing is obviously what is keeping him, kind of relevant. This, like, he's 8th in passing yards, tied for 14th in touchdowns, tied for 22nd in interceptions, 15th in QBR. Like, I don't think that's MVP level. The rushing, obviously, we can't take into account because, well, I can't see it on ESPN right now, and I don't feel like hooking it up again. So you guys know how the internet works. So you can put him in there as well, but I guess I have it with Josh and Brady, but, Brady's last 2 games haven't been that well. Josh Allen lost to Josh Allen and the Jags. So, like you said, what is it, plus 400 right now? He's the favorite. So you can kind of go in a lot of directions to see who the MVP is going to be. But Josh, pick it right now. Pick it right now.
I'm going to go Brady. I don't think he'll have another bad performance like this. And if he does, he'll still put up really good numbers. I think he's going to finish the year, unless Mahomes throws for 400 a game. I think Brady's going to finish the year leading the league in passing yards and probably passing touchdowns. Yeah, I'm going to go with Brady.
You know what? Oh, wait. I found Lamar's rushing, by the way. Oh, wait. 2020. Oh, yeah, 639 yards rushing.
Yeah. See, he might be 1K this year. So
4 fumbles, 2, and he's lost 2 fumbles, too.
He does have a fumbling problem. That is true.
Yeah, it's weird fumbles too.
Yeah, like easy, not like all you gotta do is not fumble here and he fumbles.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. But you know, I'll go with Josh Allen just because I was ahead of the Josh Allen train.
Who would have thought that I'm picking Brady and you're picking Josh Allen?
You know what?
That's crazy.
Here's another main reason, because every time I bring up Josh Allen, I get the fact that Lamar has an MVP thrown back into my face, and I think that Josh Allen had a chance last year. You know, second year in a row. Maybe he finally gets it this time.
Maybe.
So, you know, why not? Why not pick Josh Allen? If my boy Brady wins, am I going to be upset? Absolutely not. But we go on to one of our favorite segments of the show, Josh. And we'll start off. How about we start off with the prayer circle? Together we pray. And Josh, I think it's an immediate Chase Young in there, man. Tore his ACL. He's out for the rest of the year. Ron Rivera confirmed it. Tough break for them. You know that he was, I think in the past, 2 years? Is this the second year?
Mm-hmm.
That him and Matthew Judon and I want to say TJ Watt are the only edge defenders who are top 10 in pass win rate and rush win rate.
Jeez. Second year, man. He's the same age. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, don't do that.
I'm gonna go. I had Chase Young on here too. I don't have anybody else, so I'll go with him too. It sucks, man. I mean, his numbers don't look great this year, but what he does for that defense is huge. He clogs up the lanes. He takes on multiple blockers almost every play. And you just hate to see this for a young guy he's the franchise guy for them. He's on his way to have another good season, and you just hate to see it. I mean, he's gonna bounce back though and come back stronger. And come back and be a better player, but it sucks to see that. So we'll pray.
And then Josh, we go to put some respect on my name. And you know what? I'm not even going to put respect on this player's name. I think you should, Josh. I think that there's one player that you mentioned last week that you should put some respect on his name.
That I mentioned last week.
Oh yeah, and we talked about him earlier in the show.
Oh, okay. No, you say it. I forgot.
No, I think you have to, Josh. I think you have to.
Is there an M in there?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ramondre Stevenson, is that it?
Ramondre, look at this guy. R.A.
He's going to go off for like 150 this week now. Great, I did it again. But
Ramondre Stevenson, baby, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
But, also, I think Stephen A. Smith should shut up sometimes,
Bro, if you're going with where you're going, I'm totally with you.
Well, I don't know if we're going the same way because I'm talking about a guy you don't like very much.
Oh, never mind then. I think he did a list that I think you would be interested in if you didn't see it.
I didn't see it. He told me it after this, but he said even after the game, the signing of Cam Newton is box office and not box score. Did you not see the fucking box score, bro? He threw 4 passes, carried it 3 times, and he had 2 touchdowns. That's box score and box office. He can do it both. Put some damn respect on Cam's name, bro.
Now, listen, Josh, this is the one that I was talking about, Stephen A. If I want to find a list because I want it to be exactly what it is. Oh, man. But he ranked the top 5. Oh, here we go. The top 5 Marvel movies.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh, he did. He put the original Avengers at 5. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I like that.
He put Endgame at 4. No shot.
No, that's top two, bro. Top two.
Top two, and I don't think
Probably
it's two,
not
by the way.
Yeah, it's not two. It's not two.
Now, listen, I didn't have a problem with this movie as much as other people did, but also take into account that I'm very easy to please. I will watch literally anything. He put Black Widow at 3.
No, Black Widow is no. It's probably not touching my top 10. I mean,
I can agree that he put Winter Soldier at 2.
I like that.
I like Winter Soldier. I wouldn't mind top 5, but 2, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, not 2.
And then listen, I love this movie. I'd put it in my top 5, just not in this spot. Put Black Panther number 1.
Yeah,
I can't put it number 1, bro.
It's a very good movie, very, very good movie. But come on, bro. The last 2 Avengers are the top 2. It goes Endgame.
That's what I'm saying. Didn't even put Infinity War in here.
Yeah, like there's no question those are the 2 best. I mean, to have Black Widow in there, man. Like the other 2,
I'm even gonna go up there and say the original Iron Man should be in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think Thor Ragnarok. I think that's definitely should be.
Josh, did you see Eternals or Shang-Chi?
I watched Shang-Chi this weekend. I did.
Me too. How'd you like it?
I loved it, bro. I mean, I wore the Marvel hoodie today because
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, that was fire, bro.
Shang-Chi went crazy.
That man's got the.
Nah, actually out here, the 10 rings.
I swear, he's going crazy.
Great
movie. That
was top tier. Highly entertained by that one.
Oh yeah.
Eternals was pretty good too. I know you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go this week to see it.
Then again, like I said, from someone who's very easy to please, I liked it. I believe it's
people are hating so much on these movies right now because they expect them to be like Endgame and Infinity War. It's like, come on, they're building a whole new timeline and stuff. Like,
listen, it's like going on after that Gaethje fight.
Yeah,
Listen, you have the best movie of the year. It's just not gonna.
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work out for you, want it.
So, Stephen A. Listen, let's stick to sports, bro. I'm just saying. QB of the week, Josh. Let me go first because, listen, is it the best performance of the week? No. Mac Jones, baby. My QB of the week. My guy. Listen, was I happy at the beginning of the year? Might have said Lego Man a few times, possibly. Might have said mac and cheese a few times, it's possible. But 198, like 60 something percent completion percentage. I think it might have even been higher than that. I might be lowballing him here. 3 touchdowns to beat the Brownies at home. You know what? He was 19 to 23, so I was wrong. That's probably in the 80s. It's like an 84.
Yeah.
So shout out Mac Jones, my quarterback of the week.
Yeah, I got to give it to Patrick Mahomes, man. 35 of 50, 406 yards, 5 touchdowns. I had to.
And your non-quarterback of the week, Josh, who are you going there?
I'm breaking the rule. Cam Newton is my player of the week, man. 3 for 4, 75%. I know you like that number. 8 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 carries, 14 yards, 1 touchdown. Come on now. I don't count him as a quarterback because he threw 4 passes. Jacoby's probably thrown that many in a game.
You know what? See, you just mentioned Jacoby's name, and I probably shouldn't go Jacoby Myers because he definitely didn't have the best week. But bro, my man scored his first touchdown, so I might have to go. Right. Listen, in my heart, I'll go with Jacoby Myers, 4 for 49, scored his first touchdown. But my true non-quarterback player of the week, but by the way, Josh, the Monday night game has started, so I assume we're picking the Rams here.
Yep.
But so the true non-quarterback of the week should be. Hold on, I can find his actual stats here. See, I should probably stop looking on fantasy apps and just actually look on ESPN where I know I can find the stat, but I always look on the fantasy one. Anyway, I'm going to go with my boy, Mr. Stephon Diggs. You know what? 9 catches, 162 and a touchdown. Now, that's a game.
That is a game.
You had yourself a game, young man. So, Stephon Diggs, congratulations. You get my non-existent award. Winners and losers of the week, Josh. I'll make mine quick. I'll go one winner. Patriot fans, you know what? Look at us, 4-game win streak. So inspirational, man. You know what? I gotta start writing things down, Josh, because I had somebody that I actually want to give a
I've
winner
been doing
to.
it since episode 1, bro. I've been doing
See,
it since
bro.
episode 1.
See, you're just much more organized. Much more organized. I'm gonna go with the flow kind of guy, and sometimes the flow just goes dry. But fine. I can still give it to Patriot fans. Why not? We won. Fourth in a row, beat the Browns. We're right there with the division. Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought? You know what? I'll even give it to Panther fans because you guys got Camp back. Go ahead. Go off, bro.
Okay. I appreciate that.
See?
I have 5 winners. Start with the
Okay.
Lions. You didn't lose every game. Yeah. Congrats. Like, that's huge, bro. Like, that is a win right there. Teddy Bridgewater, he had a chance to tackle Darius Slay on that touchdown. And Teddy has suffered a couple of the worst injuries you could really have. One of them,
knocked out.
yeah, one when he got knocked out, and the other one was in practice where he tore basically every muscle in his knee, intended. So he's my winner because that's a business decision right there, and he deserved it. He made the smart move, even though it wound up being a 92-yard touchdown because of him. He made the business decision. Zach Wilson, hey, Mike White might suck, bro. So you win this week.
Got your
Zach
job
Wilson.
back.
I bet he was very happy about that. Jacoby Myers, huge winner, got the touchdown finally. I think it's good that it waited so long because now he's got records. Like, he could retire tomorrow. It's like, bro, I got records. I got the most catches and yards before a touchdown. Like, that's me. I'm a team player.
Perseverance, man.
You don't need the touchdown. Just give him the ball a couple times. A revenge game that went under the radar. Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator, Dallas Cowboys. He said, "You thought I was the problem in Atlanta? Nah." He shut them down, man. Nothing. No point. Only a field goal. That's all you get. So, yeah, those are my winners.
I have one loser, and it's because he is the ultimate loser, by the way. I don't know if you saw this, Josh, and it happened right in front of my eyes, believe it or not, because I am in the New York market, so I listen to the Michael K. Show all the time. Shout out Michael K. Show. I can't wait to talk to Don LeGreca again, But this man, Rex Ryan, for some unknown reason, just hates Robert Saleh, bro. Like, absolutely hates him. Went on New York radio earlier today and was like, don't compare Robert Saleh to me. He's not me. He's finished last in his division 4 out of 5 times, so he's used to it. He's going to finish last again, and I've never had a stretch this bad playing defense. So, Rex Ryan, you're a loser. And not only you're a loser because you're going after him, first of all, you weren't shit as a coach either. Your team was built by Mangini, and then you took over the 2 years you went to the AFC Championship game, and then you started getting your own players in, and then you guys started to suck. So you can bow down to the feet of Eric Mangini. And second of all, you're a loser. That's what I'm saying, because if you saw Robert Saleh's quote, he said, listen, I've never talked to Rex Ryan, but he knows where to find me.
Yeah.
I love that energy.
Yeah.
Robert Saleh. Inject that into my veins, because guess what? First round KO if they ever fought. Look at it.
That needs to be on that card with. Did you see that Darren Williams is fighting Frank Gore? It needs to be on that card.
I'm over it, by the way.
Who wants to fight Frank Gore? Who wants to fight Frank Gore? Are you kidding me? Like,
I'm over those stupid novelty fights.
I'll watch all the athlete fights though. I'll see who they got.
Oh no, I'll watch it, but I'm over them. You know what I mean?
Like, I won't watch. Yeah.
It's a car accident. You kind of got to look at it.
Yeah. Because like when you drive it, it's like, come on, drive faster. Quit looking at the car accident.
Yeah, and then you're driving by. Like,
hey, what's going on? But my losers, the biggest loser this week, the AFC North, because the Ravens lose to the Dolphins, the Browns get blown out by you guys. The Steelers tie with the Lions, and the Bengals didn't even get any input, but I bet if they played this week, they would have lost. And then I'm doubling down on the Steelers because, are you kidding me? You just tied that game? Like, you suck. Like, you suck so bad if you tie that game. And they did. Sam Darnold's wall, I'm sure there's about 40 holes in it after watching what Cam Newton did on Sunday. I'm sure he had a rough day. Deshaun Jackson, I mean, what was that, man? Like, you're so fast. What was
somebody
that? Just
called
run.
a retirement home. One of the patients got out.
Like, run. And then me, because I lost a parlay this week. I had Gordon Hayward's over. Hit. I had John Morant's over. Hit. I had who else did I have? I had like 3 more guys on there, and all I needed was Anthony Edwards to average what he averages. That's all I needed. He had 9 points, 9 goddamn points. They went on a 50-13 run against the Lakers. He had no points in that run. I'm like, dude, come on. Cost me that was $550 right there for a $5 parlay. All because of Ant. Come on, bro. I'll never bet on him again. Never again.
That is tough.
Yeah.
I can't even say nothing about that. Josh, how'd we do in our picks?
We did not have a great week, but I don't think anyone. I mean, it's a weird year, man. But speak for yourself, man. I'm bounced back this year. This is my bounce back year, so I'm doing all right, brother. I went 6-6-1. We have a tie now. We have a tie on our record,
of course,
because we have to. I went 6-6-1. You went 5-7-1. So I did not blow you out, but I extended it because I picked Philly. And then I picked, who else did I pick? I picked Philly and Green Bay, and you picked Seattle and Denver. But you got me in that Cleveland game because I picked Cleveland.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. You know what? I almost forgot that you picked against the Panthers, so I could have swore that I won that game, but you picked the Cardinals. I usually bank on that.
No. But I'm now 81-58-1. You are 78-61-1. So you're 3 games behind.
Okay. Listen, I'm still right there in striking distance. Right there in striking. Right where I want you.
Right. You're going to say that all the way up until week 17. It's like, this is the week. This is it.
Yeah, listen, I got what? It's week 11 next week. I got 6 weeks to play with. Don't you worry. Not even scared yet.
I'm not worried about nothing.
Well, you know what? Let's go to our picks then. Look at that beautiful graphic, by the way. You gotta do a great job every week. Start off Thursday Night Football, baby. My Pats playing the Falcons. Pats coming off a big win. Falcons got blown out. Guess what? I'm still going with the Pats, even though the Falcons might, try their hardest this game.
Yeah, I'm going to also go with New England.
Okay. We got the Colts at the Bills. Listen, Colts have won 4 of their last 5 games, I believe. Well, guess what? That stops. Josh Allen MVP train.
Yeah, I do think no human on earth should bet on this game. This is the definition of a trap game, but I'm going to go with the Bills too.
We got the Ravens and the Bears. This is pretty easy for me, so Ravens it is.
Man, it sucks. I want to kind of add the Bears to my I'm always going to pick them group, but I'm going to go with the Ravens maybe next year, but got to go with the Ravens.
Oh, man, this next game is tough. I don't know where to go in this game. They're both bad. I'm going to go with Miami.
I am not about to give you a closer chance to tying up this record, so I'm also going to go with Miami because this will not be a game I lose. I'm not going to lose on a Jets-Dolphins game.
Lions at the Browns. Brownies, a bounce-back game. Obviously win here.
Yeah, a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover for Detroit, so they're probably going to lose this one.
Yeah. From what? Have they even won one?
They've never been.
Really? No.
They're one of the few teams. They're one of the few teams that's never been.
Well,
them, Houston, and who else? Jacksonville. I think they're the only 3 teams.
Who's the last team?
Jacksonville.
Unbelievable. Texans at the Titans. I assume we both go Titans here. That's pretty solid. Packers at the Vikings. I'm going with the Packers.
I'm also going with the Packers.
Saints at the Eagles. Now, listen, the Eagles have been, kind of a pest this year. But I'll still go with the Saints because I like their defense.
Yeah, if the Saints' defense wasn't crazy the way they are, I would go with Philly, but I'm going to go with the Saints too.
Here we got the Washington football team at your Carolina Panthers. Ron Rivera comes in against his former quarterback. Looks like he's going to get the start. He should be able to stop him. But you know what? I'm picking the Panthers. I'll pick them. Cam's brought some energy to the team. CMC's playing well. Washington just lost their best defensive player. I'll go with Panthers here.
All but one time, I picked the Carolina Panthers to win, and I will keep it go. I don't know how I'm gonna word it now because it was just easy. Then it's like I've never not picked them, but now there has been a time where I didn't pick them. But we're gonna start a streak now. It's never gonna happen again. Never happening again. Give me the Panthers.
So you're picking them from here on out again?
Yep.
Okay. San Francisco at the Jags. San Francisco.
I'm trying to find games to disagree with you on to give you a chance, but I'm gotta tell you, man, these games suck.
Unbelievable.
These games suck.
This man has no guts.
You want me to pick Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'll pick Jacksonville.
I do. Bengals at the Raiders. Oof. You know what? Give me
I'm
the
not
Bengals.
taking Jacksonville. That doesn't count.
Oh my God.
That's bullshit. I'm not taking Jacksonville.
Give me the Bengals in this one. Coming off a bye, Raiders are starting to struggle a little bit. You know, if you look at the Raiders the past few years, they kind of, do good at the beginning of the season, then fall apart late in the year. I'll go with the Bengals, even though it's in Vegas.
I'll go with the Raiders. I think they bounce back.
About time you disagreed with me.
Why don't you disagree?
Cowboys at the Chiefs. Man, oh man. This is a game right here.
Yeah. And the fact that it's not Sunday night is annoying.
Yeah. Like, why is – I think
Pittsburgh and L.A.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Chargers. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll watch it. But definitely should be flexed. Mm-hmm. It's an Arrowhead, so it scares me. But I think I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I think their offense is just going to be a little bit too much for the Chiefs' defense, which is still not the best. Cowboys' defense has played pretty well, so maybe they give some trouble to the good old Chiefs over there. So give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. They're back, baby.
Okay, Cardinals at Seahawks. Now listen, I wish I knew what team was actually playing. It would make my life a lot easier. Man. Give me the Seahawks just because it's in Seattle. Ooh. And I think even if Kyler and Hopkins play, I still don't think they'll be at 100%. So give me the Seahawks.
I'll take the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
And then we cap it off Sunday night, Steelers at the Chargers, and I will take the Chargers.
Me as well. Disagreed on 3 games.
So I got a chance to tie
it. We got a chance to tie it up.
I feel pretty confident in all the games I picked.
Yeah, I think you definitely have the better chance to. I don't think you sweep. I think there's no way you sweep, but I think you can cut it to 1.
Oh, I think there's a chance to sweep it here. I think I could bring out the broom.
If I allowed you to bully me into taking Jacksonville, yeah, you have a chance to tie it. But
it's not my fault. You're soft.
Why did you not take any of the underdogs? Why do I have to be the soft one?
Because that's what you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, it is. Look at the shows. Look at the shows.
I didn't have any choice. Because I complained at the beginning of the season that you always get to pick first.
And then you never do it.
Because you just go straight into it. You don't
listen. You can say, "Listen,
you don't
stupid."
even give me a chance. You don't even give me a chance.
Well, I'll redo the pick segment right now.
No.
Oh, I'm not doing it
because you'll be soft too. You'll be.
I'm not doing it the rest of the year then.
Oh, so you're telling me you're gonna go out and you're gonna take what? You're gonna take Detroit or something? You're gonna take Houston? Like, there's not a lot of games here where I feel confident about the underdogs.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But we will see what happens next week, because that'll do it for this episode. Look at that, number 64. Look at us. Who would have thought? But yeah, Josh, where can the people find you?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Jolin_4. Subscribe to the YouTube channel once we hit 100 subs. 200 followers on Twitter, giving away names on gift cards. So make sure you go sub to that. Head on over to Underdog. Use code GenZ. Doubles your first deposit. It's free money, guys. It's free money. They're giving you what you put in. It's free.
All that brain.
Yeah. Tune in next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, sir. Like Josh said, subscribe to the YouTube Generational Sports. Follow the page at Gen Z Sports right there, as you can tell. Follow me on not Instagram. Twitter, Anthony Conover _. We do this 7 Eastern every Monday, like Josh said. Tuesday, I break down everything in the NFL world with my boy CJ on the hard count. That is Tuesdays at 9 Eastern. And then Thursday, I have backstop banter with me and Michael breaking down everything in the baseball world. Looks like we're getting the lockout, people. We are getting the lockout in the MLB. Looking like it's going to be a long 2.5 month process, apparently. So we're going to see how long that goes, what it affects, and everything of that nature. See what free agency moves come up. Go over the awards that have come out today. So make sure you tune into that. That is Thursdays at 9 Eastern. So check that out as well. But another great episode, if I say so myself, Josh. And guess what, everybody? We'll see you next week.